Hello and welcome to my first progress video of GregTech New Horizons. I have played approximately 50 hours. Let's see here. I have 43 hours clocked and we have done quite a bit of stuff here. Let's see. I will show you around what I've done. Down here we have our food set up from before we got the healing eggs. We have our cotton farm, we have a 9x9 with cotton. And here we have spinach and all kinds of Pam's harvest crops. Soybeans is a bit larger field because you need more of those. And we have a coconut tree up there, which we found coconuts in the wild. So the healing axe is this one here. When you are holding it in your hand, you get hunger bars and saturation. And you have to complete quite a difficult quest to get it. This one here, you have to find 8 of all 13 gardens, water gardens being the most difficult. Hence why they also have a crafting upgrade. The hardest for me was the ground garden actually, because I couldn't find those, but eventually I found all of them. And then you need to craft this much firm and silken tofu, so you need quite a bit of soybeans to make tofu. And you need to craft these meals here, which have a lot of ingredients. Before I got the healing axe, I was eating these beef Wellingtons together with smoothies. You have to cycle your food in GregTech New Horizons. You can't just eat the same thing over and over. You need to do other things. But I just ate easy food together with the beef Wellingtons. So I just ate these sometimes when my hunger was very low, and then the rest of the time I ate smoothies and juice. Then I built this hut here where I set up my chests. They are a little disorganized right now because I don't really have space for everything, so I need to organize those at some point. Here I have my charcoal setup, which I just finished, and need to stock up on wood, I can see. Here I have a little bonsai farm for spruce. We should probably harvest these. I don't know what happened there. I used to have a lumber axe, but I lost that in a accident. When I was setting up my solar boilers, I caught a wooden pipe on fire, and then I accidentally opened my grave and it burned like half of my items. Fortunately, my healing axe survived, otherwise that would have been a hassle to get it back. Because if you lose your healing axe, you need to complete another quest, which should be in here somewhere. I can't really see it, but there is another quest for the healing axe once you lose it, and that just sucks. Here I have my smeltery, which you use to get better tools. I used to just have a 1 block high smeltery, but then I got a larger one because I found a lot of bricks in the village I found. And that village provided me with some steel as well. My initial steel I got from the village, and I used that to craft the tool forge. This one here. This needs alumite, which I alloyed actually in the crafting table, because alloying it in the smeltery is kinda a scam. If you do it in the crafting table, you get a much higher yield. But you do need a steam macerator in order to macerate the obsidian to do this. And the aluminum I just got from digging up aluminum gravel while exploring. One of the first things you do in GregTech New Horizons is setting up a coke oven so that you can produce charcoal. I have a bigger setup here that I just finished. Of course, I just had one coke oven at first, but now I set up a whole automation actually here. The only thing that isn't automated is the wood that goes in. Otherwise, and also like emptying the creosote, I haven't automized yet, but that is pretty easy. You just need a redstone clock, which I just haven't crafted. But that's like the next thing I'll do is crafting redstone clocks so we can empty these. And it should be like only 6 we need because these are close together, so we can just put a redstone clock here, and that should be automated. And I use hoppers to get stuff out. If you put that on the underside of the coke oven, you can get out the charcoal, and then the same thing on top. I just have item pipes going into hoppers, and you can use wood pipes for extracting the creosote. And also I used, oh, this is broken. Also I used just tin pipes, hopper into tin pipe for putting in the wood here. And I get all this charcoal in order to keep producing steel. And the creosote I use to smelt up items. Or I did use to smelt up items. Now I use this steam oven, which is way faster. Here I have my steel set up. People usually set up more than 4 blast furnaces, but I have this world running on a server. So I produce steel overnight, and that is enough for me. The blast furnaces are quite a hassle to make. You need these blast bricks, fire bricks, which needs gypsum, which is one vein, and calcite, which is another vein. In GregTech New Horizons, all spawn in veins. So to get the gypsum, you need to mine out this basaltic mineral vein, and to get the calcite needed, you need to mine out lapis. And I do this with my hammer, bronze hammer, which have alumite large plates. You need to craft it in a tool forge. These are alumite. I think this is iron. And then the head is bronze because that's an easy material to get. The head, the head decides which material you need to repair it with. I also made an excavator. These mine 3x3s. So this mines stone 3x3. Same with this, with gravel, sand, clay, and dirt. And I also made a lumber axe, which can cut down whole trees no matter how large they are, in like one swing, and then you get all of the wood. That's how I got wood in the past. Now I use this bonsai setup, and later on I will make a crop manager so we harvest these automatically. But yeah, I lost the lumber axe in the accident, so I will have to make a new one. Let's see. Down here, I started breeding reeds. This is just sugarcane on a crop stick, and if you breed these together, you eventually get stickreed. These you can analyze to see what kind of plant you got with the, let's see here, lens, I think glass lens. You use this glass lens to make a plant lens, and that makes it so that you can find out which plant you mutated into, because these look identical until the last growth stage, and you will want to like destroy plants before you get to the last growth stage. So that's why you will want that. And yeah, I breeded up these, and I did this so that we could easily get, let's see here, I'll harvest all these, so that we can easily get sticky resin without having to do the rubber trees. I will need to get better stats on these, so I get a better yield and they grow faster, but I haven't gotten around to that yet. I'm just working on getting a lot of them. I've explored quite a bit of the world. I did this to find all of the gardens and also to find a village, which is down here. This gave me the first steel, so I could actually make the tool forge before I produce steel myself. I've been producing steel for quite a while, and I've also used quite a bit of steel, but I still have almost 1100, and that's just because I do everything to keep these running, so that, yeah, we keep getting steel, because you need a lot of it. And this charcoal setup has been running for quite a while, so we have 19 stacks now. What I do with the charcoal is that I get it from here, then I go to my compressor and I throw it in so that we compress the charcoal. Let's see here. And I do this because if you don't compress the charcoal, you can't do as many recipes at once as you can when you do compress it. So you can leave it running for longer when you compress the charcoal, and that's important because, yeah, I just leave the server running. At first, you don't have these large machines here. You start out with, let's see here. You start out with these, like the little compressor, and yeah, you start out with a little steam coal boiler, and then you maybe make a little tank in order to store the steam you produce. But I chose, just for the fun of it, it's really not needed, but I chose to make the largest tank you can, so I can store 10 million steam. It's really not needed, like a smaller one can do the job just fine, but my thought process was that when I leave the server running, I should have steam enough for it, but yeah, as I said, it's really not needed. This here is my steam setup. You can quite easily get a lot of steam if you just use solar boilers. Only thing you need to do is switch them out a couple of times because they calcify and produce less steam. We actually need to do that right now. These you make with silver. It's like the hardest component to get. You also need a bit of steel and wrought iron. Wrought iron you get from, let's see here, you need to smelt up iron nuggets. And the iron nuggets you get from, let's see here, alloy smelting, and iron ingot together with a nugget mold, and that's how you get those. Then you need to smelt them up and then compress them. A safety measure for when you are setting up the solar boilers is that you need to place blocks above them. Otherwise they, like if you put water into a boiler that is hot, it will explode, and we really do not want that. So to prevent these solar boilers from getting hot without water, we place blocks above them so they can't see the sun. And once they are filled with water, we can then remove the blocks and produce steam again. They calcify, it's called, when they have been used for too long, and then you just need to like break them and place them down again. That's how you get them working And I'll show you how you can see if they're calcified. The number there that says 360 liters per second, if that's lower than 360, it means it's either not sunny or it's calcified. So if it says like 260 instead, it's calcified and you will need to break it. You need to be careful with the boiler's last in line because it fills up the first one, then the second, then the third. And that's just how the water mechanic works. You need to be really careful with the output of the steam, because if you output into a wooden pipe, it will catch on fire. And that's really not good, because then like it will burn everything. It's really extreme when that happens. Let's see, I think we can safely break these two at least. So yeah, it will burn everything and it will be chaotic as hell. But these like produce 360 steam per second, like the boiler you get first only produces 120, like a third less. And yeah, you need to burn coal for this. These just produce steam from the sun, from out of nowhere almost, so that's just way better. We can remove this, and these should start producing steam once they get hot. When the server runs, like it will become nighttime while we are off. So if we have steam machines running during night, it's really good to have this large buffer, because then our steam production will not be working. I've considered using the creosote down here, because we will fill up. We actually already did. I've like considered using that for making even more steel. So if we go into the multi-block chapter here, yeah, I've considered this liquid fueled firebox, but I'm not quite sure yet if I will do that. I might. I've also explored the nether a little bit. You need to do this in order to get the nether gardens for the healing axe. And you also need to do it for... Where did my healing? There. You also need to do it for getting sulfur and other ores, but in the early game sulfur in order to make rubber. Let's see here. In the steam chapter, you need to get this rubber here in order to progress into the low voltage age. That's as far as I gotten. I made a steam turbine with some circuits I made. I made 4 circuits. So I batch crafted a little bit, not much. And I made the steam turbine. And I also had enough motors and circuits to make the wiremill. This gives you, the wiremill gives you 2 wires per ingot. And yeah, if you don't use the wiremill, it's a much worse ratio. It's like 1 to 4. No, it's like yeah, it's 4 times better with the wiremill ish. Like you can make the plates that you cut into wires at a 3 to 2 ratio, and then yeah, make wires, but yeah, the wiremill is much more efficient. And that's kinda as far as I've gotten. The only automation I made so far is probably the coke ovens. That's the only automated process I have. This here is my kitchen, where I made all of the foods needed for the healing axe. I went pretty hard to get the healing axe as one of the first things, so that I wouldn't have to worry about food, because food is kinda a big thing in this pack. I don't think I showcase these machines here. These are my multi-block bronze machines. I first made the macerator in order to double ores, amongst other things. Then I made the compressor which I use for compressing charcoal and also making wrought iron from nuggets. But yeah, especially the charcoal here. Let's see, I'll split them up in 4 here. And this is a lot of charcoal, like you use 4 charcoal blocks per hour. Let's see. You use 4 charcoal blocks per hour. And let's see, it's not quite evenly split. Let's see. Let's do something like that. And that means that these can run for like 11 hours now that we have 46 charcoal blocks in each. So that will run for quite a while, as long as we have iron enough. It does 10 steel an hour. So we do need to fill up these iron here, because we only have enough for 8 hours of iron. But we have made quite a bit of iron here, so that should be no problem. But I made sure to always keep these filled up, because they are a little bit slow, so you don't get steel at a very fast rate, but I still have quite a bit because I've been diligent in stocking them up. And before having the steam furnace down here, this here steam oven, I just used creosote in furnaces here. So I would place a creosote bucket which burns up 32, and then I would put in another creosote bucket and let it stay here so that it would burn the whole stack. And yeah, I've not been, like, for a long time I was good at sorting my stuff, but right now it's a mess, so I will have to resort it, because you don't get applied energistics. You don't get that until you have made a rocket, and that's way into the future. I do believe that's all I had to show. This series will be kinda a progress series where I'll play off camera, and then a couple of times, like maybe every 50 hour or every 20 hours or something like that. Or if I made some huge progress, I will update you on it. Yeah, I will see you the next time. Hope you enjoyed this video and the new format. Bye bye.